What's up guys, Kara Corey here. Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a couple weeks that I've been absent here. Life just happens. We're gonna talk all about that in this video today. And I thought I would multitask because I have to get ready anyways. I bought a ton of new items from the Sephora sale that happened recently, their spring sale. So I thought, why not just give you guys my life updates while I sit here and get ready for the day. I'll share with you a little bit about the makeup that I'm using, but this isn't gonna be a makeup tutorial. You may find this video a little bit rambly, maybe a little bit all over the place, but I just feel like I haven't sat down and talked to you guys in so long that there's so much I just want to chit chat about. So without further ado, let's get started. And if you guys do enjoy these videos, then make sure you do hit that thumbs up button and make sure you are subscribed as well. That does let me know what videos you guys enjoy and does just help out with the algorithm here on YouTube since I haven't been here in a couple weeks. I will try to leave in the description box a list of all the items that I used today in the event you guys are interested in the makeup component of what I'm doing today. So that'll be there for you. If you guys hadn't watched my kind of 2020 takeaway video that I actually filmed with Jason, I would suggest going back and watching that video first. It was called I'm Sick 2020 Takeaways. So I would definitely watch that video first because one of my biggest updates for you guys is in regards to Jason and his health and kind of where things are at with him, which obviously impacts my life as well. But go watch that video first if you haven't. That'll explain more, but I'm trying to think at that point in time where we were at with things for him. So with Jason's health, he is seen by an amazing doctor. So just a disclaimer there, I know you guys are just trying to be helpful, but we're absolutely not looking for recommendations and or doctors or supplements, things like that. He is being very well cared for. I did get to meet his doctor. I've been going to his appointments with him now, which is really nice because she's so thorough. I absolutely love her, and I'm glad Jason started having me go because it's so much information that's shared and thrown at him, and Jason's really good about taking notes about all his symptoms and how everything's going. But I get a really good sense of her and her knowledge base and how she's treating him, which is obviously important for me as a woman and his wife. But anyways, so in a nutshell, he has Lyme's disease and a couple other co-infections. So he was doing a pretty thorough regimen, very time consuming, very challenging with herbal supplements in addition to the oral antibiotics he was taking. And he did that for quite a while up until like about February or so. And honestly, I have to say, it was probably the most miserable I've ever seen Jason in terms of his symptoms, to the point where it was just like, he felt like he was dying a lot of times, honestly. And I'm not being extreme. If you guys have loved ones that have suffered with chronic pain or Lyme's disease or anything related to kind of an invisible illness, if you will, it's crazy. I don't know what it's like. I just know what it's like being next to him and not knowing how to help him. It's really, really challenging. But in a nutshell, like it just kind of didn't seem like it was helping, honestly. Like, it just seemed like it was making everything worse. So he took a nice break from it, and we evaluated next steps, which ended up being going to IV antibiotic treatment. Reason being, with the oral, it was wrecking his gut. It was just literally creating so much pain for him. So the IV treatment was like another option to kind of attack it a bit better without having to cross that like gut barrier. So Jason started the IV antibiotics beginning of March, and he did them for about 6 weeks, I want to say.
Now also, just to go back, the reason why I was feeling like death is because when the Lyme starts dying, you have a Herx reaction.
Oh, that's right. I should mention that.
So,
yeah.
I mean, that was a big part of it.
Yeah, come on in and talk. I'm going to try to cover up a little bit more if I can.
The Herx reaction was a big part of it. Basically, when the Lyme starts dying, you start becoming very symptomatic, I guess. Like, all your symptoms start manifesting at once, where
right.
Typically if I flare up, maybe I'll have like hives like I have now, or I'll have like extreme, insane fatigue. The oral antibiotics is on 3 at once. I had every symptom on top of extreme stomach nausea.
The nausea was
The
huge.
nausea was horrible.
You lost a bunch of weight because it was just really tough for you to eat.
I got down to like 138 pounds.
Which Jason doesn't have a sense of smell, so that...
I was still eating though.
I know.
I was eating like
That's
26
true, you were.
to 2,700.
Yeah, he was pushing himself to
24 to 2,700 calories, and I was still losing weight. I went from like 144 to 138, eating that much.
Yeah.
So that was part of it. But the IV was much easier to handle, I must say, on my gut at least.
Big time. And Jason started with 4 treatment. He was going like basically on average like 3 to 4 times a week, which was super time consuming. Number one, because thankfully she's in our area. Like, thank goodness she's a Lyme specialist in our area.
Who actually has Lyme disease, and hers is well under control, which
Right.
also makes me feel very good.
It is nice because he didn't even know that like that was something that she experienced. So she just disclosed that this past appointment we had went to. But so he was doing that on average of 3 to 4 times a week, basically an hour long appointment. I'd say he'd be there between them placing the IV. Rocephin is what he was given. But just the whole thing would take like 2 hours of his day, every single day. Like, I can't imagine how mentally draining that would be in itself. Not to mention, just to throw out there so you guys know, I have really good health insurance working for New York State, like great health insurance, but you're not going to get this treatment from a primary therapist.
It cost me $110 every single day I'd go. So basically,
yes.
I've spent a lot of money on healthcare since last summer.
So financial stress, time consumed, trying to work through the different symptoms that he's basically had. It's been a lot. Where we're at right now from his last appointment is we stopped the IV treatment because basically she wanted him to do it for a certain time frame, see how he was feeling. And I will say, like, I think the IV treatment 100% was helping, did help. I don't know if it's like, I think it still has long-term help.
Yeah.
Right? Like, even though you
'cause
stopped it, it still has
like
helped kill the...
I'm going to have Lyme disease forever. So it's like basically trying to get it into remission as much as possible and like
Right.
minimize flare-ups, because
Right.
I'd say the past 10 years
There's
that I started to notice getting
10,
flare-ups, at least 10. I was having issues before that, but like really when there's something wrong with me, at least around the 10, 11 years,
Yep.
flare-ups would be a couple weeks long, then
Yes.
they'd be a month long, then they'd be 2 months long, and then it seemed like
All summer?
last year when I finally hit a breaking point, it was like I had like an entire year of a flare-up. It felt like literally like an entire year, just so sick.
Basically.
Yeah. So.
But I think the IV has helped, though, even though he's not doing it right now. But part of that is because, like, or she just felt like he maybe needed a little break from it. Like, let's take a... How cute are you guys? Like, let's take a break from it. Let's see if you're feeling worse or not. Like, I like that she always kind of checks in with Jason with all of his symptoms and, like, where he's at as a percentage in terms of basically being able to function. And from the oral antibiotic, he was barely functioning, like maybe a 50% at best.
It would take me like almost 2 hours from the time I woke up to just make it into my office to start working because I was so sick.
Right.
So it's like getting out of bed and getting in the shower into my office took for...
It was a chore.
Just trying to move some days is already hard, let alone on all those antibiotics.
And Jason's super disciplined, so it's like, I can't imagine, I'm not like his level of discipline and drive, so if
I was still working out.
I was the one going through this, please, I wouldn't be getting out of bed in the morning. But with the oral, he was not, it was like he was not doing well. It seemed like it was not even worth it. And then with the IV, like, man, he had some great weeks, great days where he was like, in my opinion as an outsider, 100%. But it wasn't every day. But that to me is why I felt like the IV antibiotic was helping him, because I've never seen him more like clear, able to think well, not be as frustrated. Symptom-wise, things seem to be improved. But again, it still was like an up and down roller coaster. And then towards the end there, the last couple weeks, it seemed to be kind of what he felt like was kind of sliding backwards, if you will. Like symptoms were kind of creeping back up a bit. Energy wise, he was just like fatigue, where like he really couldn't like do much or handle much. I don't know if you want to speak to how the fatigue impacts you, because it's kind of like you might wake up and have the energy, but by the time he like gets dressed, it might be totally gone.
Yep, usually.
Or if we like drive to a store, it's like by the time we get to the store, it's gone.
Yeah,
you know?
Like there's many times, even before we knew I had Lyme, where I'd be like, hey, you want to go to the mall? I need to get out of the house and do something.
Yeah.
Sorry for yelling in your ear.
No, you're good.
I talk loud on camera.
I know.
And excuse the look of my face. I just had some weird, who knows, my whole mouth swelled up and a week ago, so I had some like weird swollenness
Part
still
of
going on.
why, like, just to stop real quick, is this situation that's come about is part of why I haven't wanted to film the past couple weeks, because I don't like saying this stuff because I don't ever want to make you feel bad, but when he's feeling that bad and like actively his face is swelling up, it's like, how can you possibly be happy and chipper and like go about your day? Like, I know when I was suffering with bad acne, it was all I was thinking about, and that was just acne.
My lips just
Like,
got huge. My tongue got
right.
swollen. Like, now I just have these pockets of swellingness next to here where it drained from my lips and moved to here.
That's why I really wasn't really filming
Yeah.
up to filming, honestly.
But the fatigue, like she said, like I can wake up, maybe get through a couple hours, and I could be fine. All of a sudden, like, boom, it hits you.
Out of
and
nowhere.
Anyone that's had mono, that's the type of energy I'm referring
Yes.
to. Like, when standing up just to go to the bathroom is a chore. When you bend over to pick something up and then you literally have to sit here for like 30 seconds and push yourself up because you just physically don't have the strength. Walking upstairs, it's like Mount Everest.
Right.
That's the type of...
And clearly it's not cardio.
It's not like I'm tired or I'm a little bit drained. It's like I have nothing in me. And it can go from 100% fine to completely dropped off.
And you just never know.
We used to go to the mall before she knew I had Lyme. And she would just look at me and be like, you have to go, don't you? I'd be like, yeah.
I can see it in his eyes. And it's funny because, like, Bruce just passed out behind us. But Bruce knows Jason's energy. And he knows it better. Me and Bruce know it better than Jason knows it. I'll be like, I know you're going through something right now.
Bruce doesn't like people close to me when I don't feel good.
And Bruce does too, yeah. So, yeah, that's kind of a nutshell with his energy. Right now, we're at the point where we actually don't know where we're at because of Jason's current flare-up on his face. Like, what he was going to be doing was some herbals and then probably restarting the IV, but because
and
of
then
his...
possibly giving myself a penicillin shot every single day.
Right,
because
penicillin, yeah.
It's
that might be covered by insurance.
That might be covered by insurance, so as much as I don't want to give myself a shot of penicillin every day, it's much cheaper than having to go get an IV.
Right.
4 days a week.
I'm trying to take some of that stress off his plate by managing like not the cost of it. He's paying for it all out of pocket. I'm trying to recoup some of the costs from out of network. Thankfully, my insurance is good, or you can recoup some of the costs from out of network providers. Unfortunately, it's kind of like there's no black and white about how much gets reimbursed. It's just like whatever they feel like.
Yep.
But so he may be restarting the
IV
antibiotic, which I think would be good. I'd be interested to see like how you feel, because like your doctor said, like you are so sensitive. Like if there's a side effect, Jason's getting it.
Yep.
The way he is, he's just more sensitive. He might be someone that just needs a break, which I believe. Like I think you just need a break from it.
Yeah, that's why I have to take a break from the antibiotics. I can just tell.
Yeah, and with all that being said, in terms of life updates and big changes, like also kind of considering everything with Jason's health. Like the pandemic's one thing, but then Jason's health, it's just been like so eye-opening as to what's really important in life, which is why like I'm not trying to use it as an excuse, but like sometimes I don't just push through and like do a couple videos because when he's going through stuff, like, I just want to be with him in that moment. Like,
And I'm the one that has to handle the majority of
the
work.
editing. But I know you even said, like, don't
Yeah,
feel like
yeah,
you're
don't-
burdening
yeah, I don't-
me.
yeah, I don't want
I
to.
don't. It's honestly not that, because I know even this setup today was a lot for you, but it's more like it's not, I don't want to say it's not as important, but it's just not. Like, when someone in your life who you love more than anything in this world has health issues and is suffering and not feeling well, like, that's the only thing that's important. Not taking selfies for Instagram, not creating content for you guys. Unfortunately, that's just like how it goes. So that's why there's probably been more inconsistency on my end than before. But with all that being said too, and I would say good news, Gucci news.
news.
This is Gucci news. Jason actually made the decision, and I think he wouldn't have been able to make this decision had he not have been so clear-headed, feeling good. He quit his job. So
No, I retired.
He retired.
I retired.
He retired. So Jason, if you guys didn't know, was working for Mark Lobliner for MTS Nutrition, basically doing a lot of stuff, but working from home, so that was advantageous for him given his symptoms and everything going on. But even regardless, it was 40 plus hours a week of his life that he was having to push through. And
My channel.
your channel, my channel. So he made the decision. We made the decision that, and I told him, when you need to quit, we're good.
Kara's been pushing me too for like over a year.
For a while. But honestly, like, I think we mentioned this in the 2020 video. We had been using a lot of our extra income. You know, I don't mind disclosing this. Things like Buff Bunny, when I make money off commission for that, my coaching money, Jason's money, our side money.
We've only done two things with any money we've gotten from YouTube.
Yes.
A, put it back into the channel, buying camera, buying lights, buying a mic, and paying off the house.
Paying off the house. So that was kind of our goal and focus. And who would have known, like, we only really, like, honed in on it 2 to 3 years ago.
September 2017. I saw how much we still owed on the house after living there 7 years.
Oh, my God, yeah.
I'm like, we paid $9,000 in interest last year. I'm like, we're paying this off in 5 years.
That made me sick.
So, essentially, September 2017, everything was either back to the channel or onto the principal of the house.
Yep.
When we paid off? March 2021?
Yes.
March 2021?
Officially
done.
Jason took the last chunk. He paid it off.
We paid off our cars. We paid off our house. We owe no debt to anyone. No credit card debt. So
all these updates kind of go together, because with that being said, the fact that we were able to pay off the house, like, Jason and I, for debt, like, we were very fortunate. And at the same time, we were purposeful with our spending, that we got ourselves in a position to pay off our house at our age and not have any debt. Both our cars are paid off. School loans are pretty much done. I have like a $10 one a month I pay or something silly like that. But pretty much, he's snoring so hard now.
I'm laughing at your $10 bill.
My $10 a month.
Your $10 a month bill.
It's so annoying, but at the same time, I'm like,
just pay that
I
off.
thought I was done paying it. So that's what's like so irritating about it. But the fact that we have it all paid off, like, I don't know if you guys have homes or have paid off your mortgage, and I'm not saying this to brag. What I'm saying is we're so fortunate, and that's why I told Jason, like, I want you to focus on your health. Like, the end of the day, like, my job and jobs or whatever, even if I had nothing else but my job for New York State, like, we're set. Like, the money I make, and I'm not bragging again. It's not like I make some exorbitant amount of money.
But it can sustain us.
Like, it can sustain us more than what we need.
Yeah.
To be able to still live well, to travel if we wanted to save up for things.
And pro tip, we were only to pay off the house with the extra income we made because we weren't stupid with our money. We literally, like she said, had a purpose with every dollar spent. We weren't going, oh, we made X amount this month. Let's go have a $100 steak dinner, or let's go on a fancy vacation. Fancy vacation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, I kept it all in control.
And thankfully, he's the saver. He's very frugal with his money and what he'll spend it on. And he's always like, even if it's something he needs, he feels sick over spending the money. So I'm glad he can kind of balance me out, where I'm like, oh yeah, cool. Yeah, we should probably save some money, huh?
And even if it's my money, like my money that I earned from like my channel or something like that, and I want to buy like a new light for us.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey babe,
can I spend this much?
Are you cool if I spend $2,000 on a video light for us? You know, even though she has no say because it's my money, it's a respect thing. You know, and she would do the same if she was about to drop a bunch of money on something.
Right.
But we don't really spend a lot of money.
We don't, and I mean, the pandemic has definitely helped me with that, because for me, spending money, like, obviously I buy makeup occasionally and some clothes, but I mean, what else have we been doing? Because of the pandemic, also Jason's health, it's like, we're not planning any trips right now because we don't really know.
And it's always, that's the thing, I've always been so stressed out traveling because of, even like before I knew it was happening, and even now, it's like I was always afraid to go somewhere because just like going to the mall, I could be fine right now. We get to the mall and I'm horrible. So it's like very stressful to plan a trip or go visit friends and then either have to cancel last minute or go on your trip feeling like junk. Yeah. It's a pain. It's a pain.
Right.
To say the least.
Jason's he's had 2 weeks now of...
Yeah, I gave a 4 weeks notice, so I've officially been done for 2.
Right.
And I've been sleeping like a good 10 plus hours a night.
I've been sleeping a ton too. That's my other update. Like with not filming the past couple weekends, it's like I just felt like I was running on empty, needed to rest and prioritize that regardless. Like we had that one day we watched the UFC and then I slept till noon.
Yep.
I haven't done that since I was like 18. Not even 18, like in high school. Like I would literally sleep till 2 in the afternoon on summer vacation. You know, the days when you had no worries and like didn't have responsibilities.
So yeah, Kara gave me the gift of being able to try to heal as best as possible. Most wives would be like, no, you're going to keep working.
And I still have to remind him because like I know him. He needs to always be like kept busy and like doing things. And I'm like, no, like don't go to Walmart. Like I'll go to Walmart. Like I'd rather you not wear a mask and have to like deal with all that like nonsense when you're like reacting to the world. But also I just want him to really focus on recovering and just like finding those relaxation techniques that I think are really challenging for him to just let his body like
chill.
Friggin' chill, man, you know? With that,
the marijuana helps. Medical marijuana.
Yeah, that helps.
Which is legal now in New York State.
Big time, thankfully.
Yeah, it helps symptomatic wise for sure.
So will you still have to renew that card every year? Because that's expensive.
I'll have to renew the card.
I'm a caretaker for him, so
yeah, I'll have to renew the card unless they actually start selling it in dispensaries, which won't be probably till like April 2022.
So we'll probably have to
My card's up in November. Yeah, like New York State, like the amount of money it costs for marijuana, medical marijuana, is insane. Another medical cost I have to pay for.
It's so expensive.
That definitely cuts like a lot of the symptoms, a lot of the pain.
Helps.
A lot of the pain.
But you're always like...
Sometimes it's weird. Like sometimes it'll give me more energy, and then sometimes it just makes me tired. So it's like
you don't know what
during the day if I'm not feeling good, Kara like have some marijuana. I'm like I want to go do this later, and I don't know which way it's gonna.
You don't know.
It's just one way one day, another way the other.
Which when he's not feeling well, I'm like who.
I mean, it's a blessing that it's at least a viable option where I don't have to take like pharmaceuticals. Like to get rid of symptoms, you know?
You're not on like heavy painkillers or something that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would be scary, I think. And some people need that, but
for sure. I don't want
you know, I'm glad we're not like there with it. I'm glad you found that to like manage things. So that's kind of, I know that's kind of a lot, maybe a kind of heavy it seems, but like quite honestly, I see this all as like just a huge blessing. No, it's just all positive.
Even like all of 2020 is a blessing, as hard as it was.
It's been a huge blessing, yeah.
All a blessing.
Yeah, so we're not saying this to sound like,
Debbie Downers.
Jason's never playing victim, I'll be honest with you. He's not. That's not the intent. But I also think it's cool to share it, too. Like, today's May 1st, and, like, Jason put on his Instagram, it's Lyme Awareness Month. And a lot of people, like...
Which is also my birthday,
I still need to learn May 9th.
May 9th. Mother's Day is my birthday.
I married a Taurus, you guys. Do you know what that means? Stubborn-headed in here.
I am.
But now I lost my train of thought. I forgot what I was going to say.
About May.
Lyme awareness. So I think that's cool because like a lot of people just don't know much about it, including myself. Like we really didn't. A lot of people still think it's only acute and you get bit by a tick and you take antibiotics and everything's like rainbows and ponies after. And it's not. Like there's chronic.
It's very hard to kill.
Condition.
It's very hard to kill if it's like
especially
if it's not found out right away.
And we think you got it when you were like much younger.
Yeah, like there's no way to actually tell, but reverse engineering my health, the doctor thinks I've had it since I was 8 years old. Almost all my life.
Kind of like...
So it's like spread everywhere, obviously.
Yeah. So yeah, we're just trying to figure out kind of the best way to maintain him and get him at that place of like feeling more 80 to 90% if possible on average, you know? So we're still working on it, and I feel really, really hopeful about that, honestly.
I usually still hopeful, except for like the other day. Face is like swollen, my lips are swelling, kind of start to feel hopeless.
Yeah, understandable. You're going to. So we'll kind of keep you guys updated on that if you guys want to know. But just know that sometimes when I disappear, that's why.
She's not leaving you?
I'm not leaving you. Actually, this is very therapeutic for me to do. I like talking to you guys and chatting with you guys. So, and I had expressed that on Instagram, and so many of you were so sweet and just like, the majority, like everyone basically,
everyone's like super
handful
sweet.
wrote back and they're like, take the time for your husband, like that's more important, and share what you want to share on YouTube. Like don't be so bogged down in like what content you need to provide.
Yeah, and people that follow like my content, like, you know, are super like also been very awesome, very awesome, very supportive. The people that like my stuff. So
yeah, so I'm glad that Jason can just kind of like focus on him for once. I don't want him to be stressed about any treatment or anything like that. Like, I just need him to like relax and focus on his health, you know, and that's kind of the goal right now.
Because we got big goals and we can't do them if I'm feeling like crap all the
We
time.
do, yeah.
Very big goals. So
lots of places we want to travel too, like
business goals, travel goals, financial goals.
I have to share like one thing Jason and I do at nighttime. So we've been obsessed, and I think I got him in this kick, but we've been watching like house shows at night, like on YouTube and everything, and I kind of started with that. And then we got into Producer Michael. If you guys are into watching like mansion tours and fancy house tours, like we've been watching like bougie mega mansion tours.
We want a mansion someday.
For like 2 months we've been doing this. So since
we paid off the house.
Yeah, like, we've been wicked into it.
We gotta upgrade.
But like honestly, there's something about paying off your house that we're like, we own this shit.
Yeah, it's
and
amazing.
Like, we
it's
love
like this
our
crazy.
house.
Like we paid it off, and all of a sudden it's like, I'm like, I text Kara, I'm like, I'm just wiping up our sink that we own.
Yeah, it's like you can't help but like have a different kind of like.
It's like see that wall that has a chip of paint out of it? That's our chip of paint.
I own that.
We own that. We own every screw, piece of glue, nail, everything in this house is ours.
We love it. So we've been watching these like mansion tours at nighttime. Producer Michael, if you're into it, or Enes. What's his last name?
I don't know.
Not
just
a
look
clue.
ENES mansion. You'll find it.
And then that little JP Studios kid.
Yep.
He's good too. So we've been watching those at nighttime, and it's just like kind of giving us an idea of like things we want. Like now I have so many ideas of stuff I want to redo in the house, but then there's that part of me that's like, or you can just save your money too, Kara.
Yeah, we're not saying New York State. They're killing us with taxes.
Absolutely killing us. That's the other thing that's going on is taxes. Did I mention the tax audit in the last?
I don't know. Yeah, I think you did. Why don't you fill them in really quick?
So that's the other giant...
I'll fill them in. You finish because I'm much quicker.
Okay.
So 2018 tax audit came through last June or July. Kara sent in a 400-page report from 2018 explaining every single expense. They sent it back to us saying, you don't have a business, you owe us $19,000. I'm like, what? We don't have a business? We don't owe you $19,000 because we have a business. So we got our lawyer involved, who is friends with a tax attorney who just won a case, $200 million case against the IRS?
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing. He looked over what she sent in, her 400-page report, and is like, this is incredible. It's more than I would have even been able to do. So we resubmitted it, and then tell them what happened after it got resubmitted.
I wasn't paying attention.
I'll keep going here.
Where were we at?
So it got resubmitted. We waited a couple months. It got resubmitted, I think, when did you resubmit it?
December 17th.
December 17th she resubmitted it, and about 2 weeks ago we got it back saying, case closed, you don't owe us anything.
Thank you for resolving this. So yeah, that was good news. That was huge news for us this year. The other thing, before I forget, because I don't want to not include that in this video, thinking of Jason, I am actually no longer working with
Per Vitam.
Per Vitam, or basically
Tiger Fitness.
I kind of promoted everything on Tiger Fitness. We're ending that. Per Vitam is actually being discontinued. So it's just kind of a good time to do my own thing, which I haven't done in a long time. Like I haven't been a free agent in a long time. So I just want to share that with you guys in case you're wondering why. I'll still always use all the stuff I've ever told you guys about for sure. But this also allows me to try other things for you guys and be able to talk honestly and openly about it, since I'm not associated with anyone from a supplement standpoint. So you may see me incorporate like some different things that I may be trying or testing and give you guys my honest thoughts. So I'm actually quite excited about that. There's no hard feelings. And even with Jason
quitting
his position, like we'll always be close with Mark and
Yeah.
friends with him. So
Always,
there's no hard feelings
No,
there
no.
whatsoever.
It's just one of those things that had to happen.
Yep.
Go to Target.
Good. So good, you guys.
Go buy their Starbucks cold brew.
Yes, do it.
Pre-bottled cold brew. It's like $4.50 for 36 ounces. A serving's 12. $4.50. Think about how much 36 ounces of cold brew coffee would cost you at Starbucks. It would not cost you $4.50.
No.
cents.
So one of the things, even though I haven't been as active on here, I've been okay on Instagram, was the beginning of the month, I mentioned I was going to do an April challenge, just kind of like forcing myself to move more, and I committed myself to riding my spin bike, my Peloton, every single day in the month of April. And I didn't really get a chance, since I didn't film much in April, to talk about it on here. But part of why I did that challenge, I'm just filling my lips here. I don't know how people fill their lips so quickly. One of the reasons why I wanted to do that challenge is, number one, like I don't move much, like in my job, and also between everything with Jason's health in this past year, like I've just been doing more workouts at home. Like I just, in general, with the winter months, haven't moved as much as one should. Not even from a fitness standpoint, like just movement, like as a person. So I just kind of wanted to get back to basics and try to establish that in my routine. Because just because you buy a Peloton doesn't mean you magically are like motivated to do it every single day of the week. I was like, let me just set a challenge for myself and see if I can do it and actually have something to work towards. And I just haven't had like a set structured goal or challenge or something like that in a long time. So I know it may sound like simple and silly and easy, but for me it was huge. The fact that I committed to it, and today's May 1st, and I can sit here and say that I did do all 30 days in April. And having that kind of in my mind, that this was a goal I was trying to achieve, actually made it relatively easy for me. There was no inner dialogue about, well, should I tonight or shouldn't I, or maybe I just will tomorrow. It was just a non-negotiable to get it done every day. So I didn't have that like banter in my mind, that internal dialogue that can occur. I don't know if you guys relate to that, but I do it a lot. Instead of just getting it done, I sit there and think about it in my mind. So I really enjoyed my little challenge and looked forward to it. I mostly would ride my bike in the evening, and it would be hard for me because also knowing Jason's home all day long by himself, like sometimes I feel that obligation to like not be with him. It's not an obligation to be with him. I don't mean it that way. I just mean like I haven't been with him all day. So I like feel bad taking even more time away from him, if you will, when I've been at work all day. But it was really nice to kind of like stick to having that time for myself. I really fell into a deep hole. I mentioned on Instagram, I love Bailey Sarian. I'm kind of late to finding her on YouTube, but I'm so thankful I did, because she really did marry two of my favorite things on this earth, which is makeup and true crime. And she's also just absolutely got an amazing personality. So check her out if you're into those two things. But so it was kind of like my little time. Like I would go downstairs, get on my bike, I would watch one of her murder mystery makeup Mondays, and it would make it just like fly by, and I would just feel so good. So I kind of looked forward to it. There was maybe a handful of times throughout the month that I was like, oh, if I didn't commit to this challenge, I wouldn't be doing this right now. But for the most part, I always looked forward to doing it, and I'm proud of myself for the follow through. And honestly, I feel like doing it those 30 days did kind of help me just like reestablish a bit more in terms of my movement and my habits, and the fact that I do need to move more. And I think even though my challenge per se is over, like I have that desire in me to like keep moving and to keep focusing on it a bit more, because I just found it so helpful for me in terms of my mental health and just knowing that I was moving. Like I said, it was not about burning calories. It wasn't about like anything else, weight loss, none of that. It was literally just about movement and doing it. So it was just kind of nice to get back to basics, honestly. So maybe like no days off sounds extreme, but again, I sit most of the time, you guys. So it's not an extreme thing. It's not like I wasn't allowing my body to recover. I had some days where like my legs were really sore, so I would just do like a lighter ride. Like that's what's nice about cycling, is you kind of dictate how hard it's gonna be for you. So that was really great. Other thing I was gonna kind of update you guys on, another side stress for me, which I don't talk about my day job a lot on here, but I've been without a boss basically since the start of the pandemic. Like I hadn't had a supervisor this entire time. And they had hired, it's so hard to hire people in New York State. There was a whole hiring freeze. So one of my other recent stressors was knowing that they had hired someone and I didn't know who he was or how he was gonna be. And I don't know if you guys have gone through this before or not. Like I've gone through a handful of supervisors in my career, and it's always an adjustment phase, like learning someone new, learning their style. Are they gonna like me? Are they gonna think I'm a valuable employee? And these are all things that like were just stressing me out, like just giving me such bad anxiety, like not knowing who I was gonna have to step in and supervise me. Because in my job, I always worked really closely with my previous supervisor. Her and I had a really good relationship, and I felt very valued by her and important, if you will. Like I felt like I feel valued at the hospital, but I mean, it was a good relationship. So like wondering what the next relationship was going to be like was just driving me kind of nuts. So nonetheless, I did get to meet him this past week, and it was just a huge relief to actually have a face, a person, to meet him, to get a first impression. So I think all will be okay, but that was a little bit of like built up anxiety in me as well this past month, that I felt like when I have so many different little things stressing me out, I can tend to get like very blocked creatively. And when I get like that, I just kind of shut down a bit. Like I just don't have a means of being creative. I don't know why I'm still putting makeup on my face. I guess just because I'm talking. But yeah, I think this look came together actually quite well. This is just kind of like a little everyday look. But anyways, yeah, so everything's good on the work front. Actually, it just new fiscal year, which my job's really boring. I don't discuss it on here, but it's always a stressful time of year because for us, it's the end and the beginning of a new fiscal year. So it's just a lot of work on my plate. So, you know, things were just like stressful, you guys, but nothing was bad. Nothing was crazy. The riding my bike every night and then watching like house mansion tours was just my little fun way of self-care that always made me feel really like relaxed. But yeah, I feel like there's so much more I could ramble on about, but that actually concludes this makeup look. I actually quite like everything I got. I will say, just really quickly, the Fenty Beauty Eavesdrop Blurring Skin Tint that I got it way too dark, so I am self-tanned right now, so I'm in the shade 11, so I had to like self-tan to kind of match it to my face. I pretty much ended up liking everything I got from the Sephora sale, so that was good. Nothing was a waste. But if you guys did enjoy this video, let me know. I had toyed with maybe like, for those of you that like the makeup and the chit-chatty aspect of this video, I want to try to do this live streaming sometime so that I can be interactive with you guys. I just felt like I had too much to say to do a live stream for today's video. But if you would like me to do more live streams again, I was doing that for a while, and I really do enjoy that because I enjoy the engagement right then and there with you guys. That's kind of one of my favorite things. So if you would like me to do like if you guys would like a live stream get ready with me video, let me know, or just a live stream in general. But that's gonna conclude this video. I hope you guys enjoyed some of my life updates, just letting you know where I was at. Don't worry, I am still here. YouTube is always my number one platform when it does come to social media and content planning. Like, this is it right here. And you guys that follow me over on Instagram, Karakori Fit Life, gave me tons of ideas this past week of what you like to see. So I'm just kind of keeping an inventory of that, combining it with things that I love and feel personally pulled towards to share with you. And that's what we're going to share on here. So as you know, it ends up being a little bit of makeup, clothing reviews, nutrition and fitness, recipes I'm going to get back into because that's kind of what's calling me right now. So I appreciate all of you who always stand by my side, even during my little bit of lulls. You guys are awesome. I do appreciate this community here. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.